Let's take your calls, Molly, on WMAL. Welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hi. Okay, so I don't disagree with you in that the guy is a total douche and deserves to be stoned to death and everything else. Okay? What I disagree with is your opinion that we need to have weapons all over the base. I'm a Navy veteran as well as a military spouse. Excuse me. My children have watched my husband strap weapons to his body and leave for war 4 times. The one safe place that they're supposed to be is on base, and I don't want them around it because they live it every single day.
Wait, you're confusing me. You don't want who around guns?
I don't want my children who live on a base to feel like they need weapons. And
well, it doesn't matter what you feel. I'm sorry you feel so bad, but when the soldiers had weapons,
please
listen to me. Listen to me.
Can I finish?
Listen to me carefully. You've made your point. You're very emotional, but you're making no sense. After the soldiers had been disarmed by Bill Clinton, we had the worst massacre in history on a military base. If they had had weapons, couldn't they have defended themselves, ma'am?
Uh-huh. There are members of the military that patrol...
Well, you're not answering the question. You're just giving me a speech. I'll ask you again. If the soldiers who had been shot had had guns, wouldn't it be likely that fewer people would have been killed and wounded?
Sure.
So why would you not want guns on a base?
First of all, guns are allowed on the base.
Wait, now you're going in circles.
Concealed.
You're now going in circles. Ma'am, listen.
On a base?
You're not listening to me. You're coming up with things out of the blue. Bill Clinton disarmed the U.S. soldiers on military bases. That's a fact of reality. I didn't make that up.
That's where they can't have them. They can't have them while going to the commissary, and they can't have them while going to the PX, the BX, or the NEX.
That's where Major Nidal Hassan got them. He was a major. He knew where they couldn't have guns.
I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with you that this is a horrible act. Not at all. Not for one instant am I.
So what is your objection to them having a weapon on a military base?
It's not on a military base. It's the locations in which they're allowed to carry it. That's the difference. It's a very fine line, but you're making a blanket statement, and you don't understand the very fine line.
I don't understand the fine line. You don't understand that 13 people were killed and 32 were wounded because they had no weapons. Who is it who doesn't understand the situation, me or you?
Shot in war, and he's been there 4 times.
You're bringing things up that are irrelevant to this discussion. My point is that if the soldiers had not been disarmed by a Democrat president named Bill Clinton who hates the military and has always hated the military, this event could not have occurred the way it did. That's my point. They would have been able to defend themselves. How can you object to that?
Because the part that you're missing is where they're carrying the weapons.
Well, what's the point? Wait, what are you saying? They should be able to carry them where? Where should they be able to carry them where they are currently not able to carry them?
I don't want my children to feel like they live in the middle of a war zone with everybody carrying a weapon on base.
Well, I'm sorry, then you should quit the military. If you don't like weapons, what are you doing in the military?
Spoken like someone who's never served.
Well, please, don't change the subject. Don't change the subject. If you don't like weapons, why are you in a uniform? Are you there, or you suddenly decided that you had your fun? Okay, so she was a setup caller. She was a liberal setup just simply to dissemble the conversation. We have no idea whether she actually was in the military. We have no idea if her husband served. We have no idea if she lives on a base. This is a left-wing caller, and I just took her apart because that's what she deserved. I'm not going to sit here and listen to that gibberish, not for 1 second, not for one segment, not for one show. I will not listen to this garbage. The soldiers were disarmed by a liberal president named Bill Clinton. As a result, we had the worst massacre in history on a military base. Period. End of story. Give the soldiers the right to carry a sidearm and defend themselves from the next Muslim major who goes berserk on a base. Period. That's my point. You disagree with me? Call the show. You don't disagree with me? Listen to the show. Pennsylvania,